Good morning. On behalf of Axis Capital Limited, INDO-MIM Limited, I would like to warmly welcome you all to the press conference for the initial public offering of INDO-MIM Limited. We are extremely honored to be associated with INDO-MIM Limited, one of the world's prominent players in the field of metal injection molding. Beginning in the year 1996, INDO-MIM has evolved into global precision engineering company with end-to-end manufacturing capabilities in metal injection molding, complemented by expertise in precision machining, investment casting, ceramic injection molding, and metal 3D printing. INDO-MIM has established a global manufacturing footprint comprising 15 facilities across India, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Mexico, supported by a diversified customer base across automotive, defense, medical, consumer, and aerospace sectors. The company's technology-led manufacturing capabilities, global reach, and long-standing customer relationships have enabled it to build a leadership position in the metal injection molding industry over the years. Before we proceed further, I would like to introduce the INDO-MIM leadership team present with us today. Here we have Mr. Krishna Chivukula. He is a World-Time Director and CEO. Mr. P. Balasubramanian, he is the CFO. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the entire management team on building a globally recognized precision engineering platform over the last 3 decades. Through a relentless focus on innovation, manufacturing excellence, and customer relationships, INDO-MIM has established itself as a trusted partner to leading global customers across multiple high-growth and mission-critical industries. I would also like to sincerely thank the entire INDO-MIM team and its esteemed promoters for giving us the opportunity to be part of this important milestone in the company's growth journey. Now, I would like to highlight the deal specs about the IPO. This is a combination of fresh issue of rupees 500 crore and offer for sale of rupees 3,312 crore, aggregating to a total issue size of rupees 3,812 crore at the upper end of the price band. The price band has been fixed at 461 to 485 per equity shares with a bid lot of 30 equity shares and multiple thereof. The issue opens to public on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 and close on Monday, July 27, 2026, while the anchor book is scheduled to open on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. We have received encouraging interest from a number of reputed institutional investors reflecting their confidence in the company's business model, management team, and long-term growth prospectus. Without taking much time, now I would like to invite the management team for the company presentation. Sir, please. Thank you. Sir.
Yes or no? Did you plan a Q&A session? Questions?
Yes. After presentation.
Good afternoon or good morning. So I'm going to briefly take you through some of the slides and the key highlights, and then we're going to open this up for questions. All right, this is a great start to slide with. So INDO-MIM. The core of the group of INDO-MIM is a metal injection molding company. We also do investment casting, aerospace machining and special processes, and fine powder production and automation services. INDO-MIM is a global company. We ship to 45 to 50 countries around the world with over 1,000 customers using metal injection molding as our core technology, but other related technologies around metal injection molding like casting. In terms of, the company history, it was founded in 1997 by my father, taken private in 2001. Over the next 24 years, by 2012, 2013, INDO-MIM had emerged as the world's largest metal injection molding company. On that journey, we also started greenfield in our investment casting units, aerospace machining, fine powder production, along with expanding our operations into the United States. I think one of the key things to think about when you think about INDO-MIM is, one, you should understand we're a contract manufacturer at our core, right? We work with customers to translate their designs, ideas, components into metal injection molding and other forming technologies, including additive, right? And then we make those parts for them on a contract basis using these wide array of technologies. And when you think about the kind of products that we do, or the components that we do, it's very well diversified. And I think one of the important things to understand from this slide is there's multiple levels of diversification. The first one is across the segments, where we have a heavy presence in automotive, defense, medical, consumer, industrial, consumer electronics, and aerospace. The industrial and consumer electronics is under consumer. And power generation. Now, even within those segments, right, the typical example I give is automotive. Right? Even within automotive, we're very well diversified by end user application, meaning we're not just doing one type of engine system or one type of car system. Right? We'll do components for selective catalytic reduction systems, seatbelt locking systems, variable nozzle turbochargers, wastegate turbochargers, fuel injection systems, braking systems, windshield wiper systems, locking systems. Right? Anywhere in the car that you've got where you need demanding material properties, a lot of dimensional control, a lot of component complexity, so that you can get a lot of functionality, right, onto limited real estate, onto small parts, right? That's where we have an opportunity for metal injection molding and also for investment casting to a certain extent. But that diversification at the industry level or the application level also spreads out across the major OEMs involved in those applications. So if you were to talk about variable nozzle technology, turbochargers, right, we're not just with one customer or one OEM that's doing those, we're with almost all the OEMs globally that are the major players in that segment. And the same is true to varying degrees in other segments as well. This gives the company a lot of resilience because you're diversified across these segments, right? At any given time, automotive is about 20-25% of MIM sales. Defense, also more like 25, sometimes 30. Medical, about 20. And then the balance is in consumer electronics, and aerospace for metal injection molding. So that diversification helps a lot, both in terms of resilience for the sales number. Sometimes you're winning more programs over here than over there. Sometimes this segment is way up. This one, maybe another one is maybe not doing as well. And then also sometimes they're all firing together. So it creates a lot of resilience, and it's one of those things, that focus on being able to do and operate in a lot of different segments is one of the factors that's enabled us to grow the way we've grown relative to other metal injection molding companies in the industry. Metal injection molding, depending upon the numbers, is between a $4 billion and $5 billion industry today. I believe 2026 numbers are about 4.3. Steady growth is projected into the future, but historically over the last 5 years, depending on what segment you're talking about, the metal injection molding industry has grown between about 7-8 to upwards of 15% per year. And these numbers have been pretty consistent over the last 15, 20 years. A quick comparison of INDO-MIM to our competitors. INDO-MIM has about $465 million in sales. The MIM revenues for 2025 were about $272 million. Right, our next biggest competitor in Europe and in China is Jiangsu and GKN Powder Metallurgy. Now, I tend to believe that their numbers are a little bit lower than this when it comes to MIM, but let's just take these at face value. You can clearly see that to our next biggest competitor, we have much better financial performance, both at the EBITDA line and at the NPAT line, and their numbers are public. GKN, we don't really know what the profitability of their MIM is, but we do know what their EBITDA is. Well, 9.1 is okay for Europe, but definitely nothing to write home to mother about in terms of financial performance. All right, there's a lot of things that we could talk about when it comes to our strengths, but I'm going to touch on what I think are maybe 2 or 3 of the key ones, conceptually at least. One is this diversified product portfolio catering to applications across multiple industries. We're not just the world's largest BIM company, but we are pretty much the technical leader for the global MIM industry, regardless of where that is, right? Both in terms of what we're able to do with this technology and what we've done with this technology, whether that's density, dimensional control, speed, scale, or cost, or range of materials. And many MIM companies, when you look at the industry, they tend to focus on a region and a segment, right? I'm in the United States, I'm going to do firearms, or I'm in Europe, I'm going to do automotive, or various flavors of those statements. And yes, there are benefits to that, but ultimately it's limiting. And I think one of the things that my father, when we were founding the company, and the management understood very early on, is that we had the engineering capability to handle the complexity of dealing with many different segments simultaneously. And there's an added twist to this, because MIM, the production assets are fungible, meaning for 95% of the value addition, the automotive component is processed the same way as the medical component, is processed the same way as the aerospace component, is processed the same way, et cetera, et cetera. It all essentially goes through the same funnel. So at a production level, at a manufacturing level, there's no reason not to be doing multiple segments, right? How you do it becomes a matter of the mind, and how your organization can manage that complexity of dealing with the different nature of these segments, which is something that I think we were able to overcome quite successfully in the early years. Many MIM companies don't do this, right? They focus on medical, they're focused on a specific segment. And why this is so important is the exposure in the early years to how to enter and meet the requirements of all these segments allows you, it gives you just a much better perspective on how to drive the technical capabilities, the engineering capabilities, or what processes you need to have inside, which gets me to my next point on the degree of vertical integration and backwards integration. But that perspective of working in multiple segments and having to understand how medical operates in the United States at a component level, right, in terms of materials or processes versus Europe versus Asia, it's hard to understate how valuable that was for our company in our early years. Because that perspective is what drove us to develop materials, develop new processes, to meet the quality requirements and price requirements of those segments. Which gets me to my next point. The dual backwards integration, forwards integration, right? Very early on, we as a company, had our mission statement or vision statement, whatever you want to call it, as we want to supply a finished component that is ready for assembly, right? We want to finish the component so that you, customer, can just take it, drop it into your car, drop it into your subsystem, screw it in, and you're ready to go. No more is required from you to use the components that we ship you. Now that's a principle or maybe a philosophy, supply a finished component ready for assembly, but the management of the company and my father, and obviously myself as well, took this mission statement very seriously, right? And this leads you, if you take it seriously, in a certain direction, right? We were in India, it was 2001, 2005, not a lot of vendors, some vendors there maybe not as capable as you would have liked in terms of meeting, our customers' quality requirements or delivery requirements. So if we're going to supply a finished component ready for assembly, it led us into bringing these problem processes that we were having in-house, so that in addition to becoming proficient and mastering the MIM technology, we had to become very good and proficient at the finishing technologies as well. And once again, that extension into new capabilities and acquiring these new capabilities and mastering them not only became a foundation for becoming very cost effective and deliver a lot of speed to our customers, but some of these processes, as you master them.
Good morning, everybody. Just my height. This is one slide that tells you what has happened in the company in the last 3 years. Now we have good growth. We have been having good growth in the revenue from operations for the last 3 years. CAGR growth is about 20%. EBITDA margin is good and continues to be good, at 25%. It's very encouraging in a year in which actually consumer business went up very significantly. Normally when we have more of automotive and more of defense and more of medical business, our margins are extremely good. This is a year in which we have achieved 25%, even when the consumer business went up significantly, that too from India. And now the return on equity capital is 21% and return on capital employed is 26%. These are very good numbers. There is also an underlying story in these numbers. The company has done very well in collecting all the government dues very significantly. The cash position of the company has improved. The loan position of the company has the loan has been reduced. So on the whole, we have a much more robust balance sheet today than what we had about 2 years ago. The inventory levels are at the same level, but in terms of number of days, they have significantly come down. And the best part of our company is that we are able to maintain the receivables at between 55 to 65 days on a consistent basis since 2009. In 2008, when the financial crisis was there, our average receivables days was 127 days. And KJ's father called and told me that now we have to tighten our screws because the companies may default in paying the dues. Then we sell an open credit, buy an open credit. All our suppliers give us straight credit to us, and similarly we also give credit directly. And from there it's a journey. Just in about 3 years time we brought it down to 55 and we have been holding on to that position. This is very significant because major portion of our business is outside this country. When we sell outside the country, transit time is anywhere between 15 days to 30 days. And average credit period is 30 days, and we are able to hold on to this at this point in time. It's a very significant effort on the part of the company. We are sure that this will continue to be the journey because this is a discipline which we have instilled in the company. Today we review the receivables once in 15 days. And any party who is overdue for more than 30 days, we don't supply material to them. It's a bit tough on the sales guys. But then, our sales guys are also fortunate. Our production team is extremely efficient. They actually the technical team actually develops every component that the sales guy will bring. So you give a customer's right by giving deliveries of material in time. So it's only right on your part to expect that people pay you in time. So on the whole, it's a the journey is from a time when we were very tight on cash flow to a time on which we are able to administer it very nicely. This is a beautiful journey, and we love this journey right now. Thank you.
Issue of rupees 500 crore and offer for sale of rupees 3,312 crore, aggregating to a total issue size is 3,812 crore at the upper end of the price band. The price band has been fixed at 461 to 485 per equity share with bid lot of 30 equity shares and multiple thereof. The issue opens to public on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 and close on Monday, July 27th, 2026 with the anchor book is scheduled on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026.